All right, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Atomic Diecast. And what you're looking at here is Hot Wheels' version of the 1991 GMC Syclone, which was a wicked fast little truck from the early 90s. I remember them well. Never rode in one, you didn't see many on the street, but there was a lot of press about these things when GMC brought them out. And I'll talk more about the actual truck in a minute. Hot Wheels did this as a new casting for 2020. It was done as a mainline in black, which was the original color of the vehicle. They did it in red as well that year. And then in 2021, they did a blue and a Zamac version. In 2023, they put it into their Boulevard series and painted it teal or a light green. And of course, it had real riders on it. They did white in 2024. And then this past year, 2025, they did two-tone versions of this, the first of which was blue and white, the second of which was red and white. And I've got most of those. I don't have the Boulevard one, and I hope to get that down the road. Let me read the back of the card, the description provided by Hot Wheels, and then we'll talk about the actual vehicle. So here it goes. The 91 GMC Syclone is a high-performance pickup derived from the regular GMC Sonoma produced for 1991. The high-performance turbocharged engine with all-wheel drive made it the fastest high-performance pickup ever made to that time. This sent shockwaves through the car community, and its acceleration was comparable to supercars of that era. So that should tell you a little something about it. And again, it was all-wheel drive, which was unique, and it was faster than most of the sports cars you could buy within a reasonable price range, and right on the heels of supercars from Europe. And again, it was a truck, so that's impressive. They did all of these in 1991, and production bled over just a little bit into 92. They did just under 3,000. They were all black with the exception of 10 cars, or trucks I should say, that were either in red or white. Don Perdome, the famous drag racer, helped them market these things. And I can't remember, I think Philip Morris, the cigarette company, had something to do with the promotional ones that were in red. I need to look all that up. I don't know a lot of the history about the marketing side of things, but I do know a fair amount about the truck itself. So after the Grand National, after Buick, the Grand National ran its course, GM wanted to make another really fast vehicle, special paint, blacked out, mean looking, and Chevy was going to do it on the small pickup truck, the S10, and they were going to use the 3.8 liter out of the Buick Grand National series, and for whatever reason, the top people at Chevy just balked at the idea. They said they don't want to do it. GMC, however, said, we'll do it. And they picked up the ball and took their 4.3 liter engine and slapped the Mitsubishi Turbo on top and put it in an all-wheel drive Sonoma. And what they ended up with was something that would just blow the doors off of Corvettes and Camaros, and even like I said, it hung with Ferrari 348s, and it was something in straight line acceleration. It made 280 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque, which isn't off the charts. It was pretty stout for that period, but what made the truck really fast is it was light and it had all-wheel drive, and it hooked. And that's the most important thing. If you can't put power to the ground, it's not gonna get you far. They repurposed a lot of parts from other GM vehicles to make this thing. They used the dashboard out of a Pontiac Sunbird. The steering wheel came out of the C4 Corvettes, and they put a little bit heavier suspension on it, but not much. I mean, like handling type, not heavy in terms of being able to carry weight. And the things would just fly. 0 to 60s depends on what test you saw, anywhere from 4.3 to 4.6 seconds. They had quarter mile times in like 13.3, 13.4 range. And again, that was faster than a ZR1 of that period in 0 to 60, and right about what it would do on the quarter mile. And The 0 to 60, as I remember, was the same as what a Ferrari F40 did back then. So think about that. And you could buy this truck for $26,000. It was a lot of money for a small truck, but considering what you got, it was probably a deal. And they only made 3,000 of them, of course. So in terms of collectability, they're sought after. So that's pretty much what happened with the Syclone. They only made it for really 1 year of heavy production. A few cars rolled off the line in '92. Then in '92 and '93, they did the GMC Typhoon, which was based on the Jimmy, the little GMC Jimmy, which is kind of like a small Blazer. And that didn't last long either. I think they made fewer of those than they did the Syclone. So Hot Wheels brought this out in 2020. I couldn't wait to get it. They did it in black. As I said, I have the other colors, but to me, the black version is the only one that matters. This one, the paint is really pretty good on it. Black, gloss black in particular, tends to show imperfections. This one doesn't have that. Minimal detailing. They've got the Syclone red scripting on the front rocker panels. They did do taillight details with the Chevrolet badge and Syclone badge on the rear. They did nothing on the front, which, again, you're not going to get four sides on a main line. I wish they had, but that's fine. And the wheels that they used were I'm going to mispronounce this, I know, but it's the Ryu Asada 6-spokes, and those were coated RA6. I'm generally not a fan of that wheel that Hot Wheels uses, but I think on the Syclone it looks really, really good because it's somewhat close to what the actual vehicle had from GM. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I did weigh the casting. It came in at 31 grams, somewhat normal for a middle-sized vehicle with a plastic base. We're going to do a roll test here in a minute. I don't know how it's going to perform. I really don't care. I'm so glad that they brought this car out, or truck out, and it has a special place in my showcase where I've got a lot of cars from the late 80s and early 90s, like the Grand National and the 94 Impala SS and so forth. So we'll set the track up and we'll see how it does. All right, we're going to give this thing a try. Wheels are spun, broken in. And again, I don't care how this does. I like this casting so much. It didn't go past 1. I'm still happy with it. But I think it'll go farther than that. Here goes the first attempt. 2. Okay, not great. Lot of wheel shake. All right, little farther, not much. I can notice looking down on this how much these wheels wobble, so certainly holding it back. All right, a little bit further, but it gets to the transition point and stops. Doesn't matter. I love the truck, love the casting, and appreciate you all watching this. And please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.